Gotta love it. Got cut off, right? And I don't even know what I was saying. So I just want to wrap it up that whatever that was, we've got a lot of stuff going on at this particular time, timeless message, but at this particular time, we're getting ready to have a full moon, very busy one. So there's a lot of activity and there's a lot of people that are really triggered into some very strange places. And so, you know, finding that ability to deal with what it is that causes us to have those snap reactions and get very disciplined about how can I change that over from being some reaction to a response, and to believe that that happens just because I take a pill or just because I meditate for an hour or just because I was looking for the paradigm that's going to work, period. And no, Kate, there isn't one of those. Not exactly. The paradigm that you need to understand is totally different. It's the paradigm of first thing I do is check in with me. Oh, okay. And then check in with divinity. And the rest of that paradigm and the rest of that, algorithm or protocol, that's going to roll out exactly the way we tell you. But if we go with that already protocol, the already established protocol of I go out there looking first before I check in here. I have to check in here first so I know who to go look for to help me if I in fact need help from another person. So far that's limited, because what I've really been able to learn, and I'm so grateful for, is self-sufficiency, which I did not exhibit a whole lot of prior to that. I let people do all kinds of things for me that I really should have been doing on my own. Shoulda. Yeah, never say should. Don't let anybody should on you. Well, my guides probably shoulda, woulda, coulda been saying, yeah, this is really stuff that you can do yourself. But I didn't believe that. I believed the paradigm that told me that I was too stupid, too slow, too something, because I was identified early as problem child. And she talks too much and she's not very bright, and she's just, or she's bright, but she's just so flighty and weird and, you know, and once you get labeled something, it can be very difficult to break out of that label because of the fear of saying, sorry, but screw your label, and screw you if you can't get out of my lane about your labeling issue. You and your label maker, move it. And it will be quickly, instantly in my world. Sometimes it can go from a very kind, please move, you're going to get hurt if you stay in my lane. You know, at a minimum, you're going to get your feelings hurt. But you're in my lane, and it's nice. You know, I can start out very nice, depending on the level of infraction. I can start out nice. However, if I continue to have a problem, we're going to separate, and it could be possible that we're going to need to have some harsh words before I go, because you're not understanding, you're not hearing, you're not listening, and you're not responding appropriately to respect my boundary. And I expect that people I hang out with, you're going to have that same code of ethic for yourself, because I don't want to be an overbearing monster anymore. I've done it and I don't want to do that. I didn't want to be doing it then. I didn't know how to get out of it, friend. So now that I do know, then it's a matter of, don't even run that sorry, lame ass, weak ass protocol. It's not necessary. Go to the one that really works, because that's the only one you need. It'll farm you out to exactly where you got to go. It's like the old operator idea from a million years ago at the switchboard, that you just start here. Start with that operator, dial that in and say, okay, where do I go, friend? I'm kind of lost here. And that's what tells me which protocol I'm on. Check it out and see. Oh, okay. And that fear thing where we run that whole, no, that's a protocol that we've eased up out of that. See, whenever I walked in the scene as a paramedic and I, ended up in a gang situation, me and my partner, that's when the protocol changed. The protocol changed that day with us, happy crew of, we're going to kill you. The protocol changed for that system right there, for the entire system I worked in. Okay, all EMS providers, all fire, everybody had to change their protocol of, because we don't want to lose our assets to something stupid that just was a matter of change the procedure. Change the protocol. You got to update that stuff. You have to evolve that too. Just like we evolve everywhere else, we're not a static society. If we're static, we're wrong. If we're stagnating somewhere, we're wrong, because humans are way too curious and way too able to really find creative, brilliant, fun ways to do stuff. And what's happened is we've used that to find ways to brilliantly connive, steal, cheat, whatever, because of the amped up fear that I'm not going to get what I want. I won't have gas for my car. I won't have food. I won't have this. And it is true. We have to deal with the reality of gas is limited, or it's expensive, or a limited budget. I just dropped $600 on my cat. I understand there's fear. And I have to deal with the reality of, what do you want to do with that, Kate? You want to look at the fear and say, well, you can look at it and just get right to the raw, down and dirty of it. Do you want to put her to sleep because you don't want to pay that? Period. That's your choice. You want to just hang with this in a completely different direction and say, well, I don't want to do that. I have the money to do that. I don't want to let go of $600. I don't. I mean, not just randomly, because I'm not self-made just yet, you know. However, trusting and knowing that you're telling me I need to get this animal. This is where the protocol is. This is not some dumbass fear protocol I'm running. I'm talking to spirit and saying, you've given me the information to bring her here. I'm here. And they're letting me know. They're giving me the estimate in order to nail this down some more. Which way do I go? Well, which way would you like to go? Because if you pour out the $600, you're going to have an answer. Might not be the final answer, and what do you know, it's not. But you will have an answer that will help you get to the next step. Now, the other option you have is you can take her home, take your chances and let her suffer possibly if this turns into some sort of an embolus of some kind. You can wing it and take your chances, or you can just proactively say, yeah, I'm not doing that, and put her to sleep. Now, are there scenarios where, you know, each one of those would be most appropriate? You know, I don't know. I just know that what I was willing to do in my lane was not the other two options. I stuck with, okay, fine. Then I have to trust spirit to know that that money, it's a resource, it's energy, and it's just another way of telling the universe that I'm not living in fear, that energy, however it's showing up, whether it's financial, whether it's physical relationships, whether it's a job or, you know, material possessions or whatever it is, it's all just a matter of energy and how am I willing to work and manage my energy, or what I believe about it. Because if I believe that I'm not going to have enough money, then, you know, energetically, it doesn't matter how many affirmations that I say. There's too much human programming that's overpowering, and the monkey mind, once it gets in charge, it amps up every single fear spot in us, does me anyway, that if I let that monkey mind get on the train and drive, that indignation station man pulls right out of there and goes, rah! And I have a party for however long it is before I can rein that stuff in. So the key is prevent it from happening, and then when it does happen, because life is life, deal with it, be real, and say, are you ready to put your cat to sleep? Or are you ready to put it out there, hang your fanny, with knowing that you're here with her? How dedicated are you to what you're saying? And it's not a slam on me if I decided, you know, I just can't do this. I financially just cannot do that. There would have been another answer. So, I mean, if I had that I don't have $600 to do, if I literally didn't have it, then Source isn't going to say, well, that was the answer and you muffed it. No, that would be fear that would let me believe that why would spirit leave me hanging and banging somewhere wrong or afraid or going, oh no, no, that it's something else would have been the better option. But because I'm sitting there praying and listening, then I'm given the best option for that particular scenario right then. And if I try to translate that and do it the same exact way every single time, because humans like patterns, man, we like them. And if we ever had problems with OCD, you know, that might be a minute to check out how dedicated we are to that OCD thing. And so it's a lot of moving parts, but I find it's really, it's beautiful eventually. You know, many times throughout the day, it's a matter of acknowledge it, that even during the rough, you know, spiritual warfare kind of stuff where things are just, you know, what are you doing? Or planetary alignments or transits that are particularly harsh, you know, a little retrograde of a bunch of planets is going to make it noticeable. And, you know, the magnetic shield around the earth had a crack in it for like 13 hours or something, and so even more of the waves of frequency from outer space are coming into us. And if we have 3, 4, 5, however many planets there are in retrograde right now, that means we're getting a dosing of that very heavy, and may not understand, why am I suddenly feeling, you know, whatever. And it just occurred to me that Anya, the kitty, she was so aggressive day before yesterday, and I'm pretty sure that that's when there was that 13-hour break in the magnetosphere, I think is what they call that, and that's not me making stuff up, that's a scientific thing, you know. I think I saw it on NASA or whatever, but it's the science of what wraps around our earth. And so there, for whatever reason, there was a crack in that, and more waves of stuff was able to make it to us. And so we're going to be ignited. And as those things continue to happen, we have got to find a way to deal with the resultant reactions of people and work on responding instead in ways that are calm, cool, collected, or they're, you know, gunned up and ready to go and take charge in combat land. But know where you are, and know that combat land shouldn't be your house. If it is, not my house, so I'm not doing that anymore. That's a horrible way to live. But you might have to suit up, you know, and go combat warrior with, you know, some spiritual stuff. But that's stuff that happens in here. It really is. It happens in my own world anyway. It happens here because I'm not out engaging, you know, my spiritual stuff with physical people. So it's that haunting kind of, you know, what is this that goes on? And the way that I mitigate it again and again and again and again and again is not to act like I'm not afraid. It's to stand in my skin and go, this is scary as shit. And can I please get a hit of something besides this shit? I mean, and sometimes it's that raw and down and dirty of, are you effing kidding me? What is this? You know, I don't like it. And then, oh yeah, I'm angry and upset because I'm feeling fear that, you know, something's coming towards me. And once I can acknowledge that and just stand in it and go, yeah, I'm terrified. Cool, then that's great. How do we handle that fear? Not make it go away. I don't want it to go away. I want it to not run me. I also want it to not be completely gone, because the balance of using that fear to my advantage is 1111. Thank you. Is going to help me navigate how I can alchemize that fear into the courage of step forward anyway. Because even when I feel the fear, once I step forward in a very guided way, not just some, you know, response or reaction, once I really know and I step forward, that is exhibiting courage, okay? To not just you, to cosmology as well. You're telling the universe, I'm willing to hang it out there. And even if it's that big, it doesn't matter. Any change that elicits a positive reaction or response is a good thing. Now, people think, well, I just did this, I changed it. It has to change and be better, you know? And if it's a microsecond, praise yourself and say thank you, because that's a crack in the magnetosphere that, you know, stuff's coming into your ear, hopefully. That's how it works for me. So I'm gonna stop now. I've done these videos now, 12 almost, 12, yay. That I really try to keep them at 15 minutes. I know they get long and people get bored, but you know, message is message. And when Spirit's talking to me, if I think that it would help somebody else, you know, I'm gonna post it and hope that it can help somebody else, because we're just so needing right now for people to find relief somewhere and find compassion. And you know, I'm an incredibly compassionate person myself, but if the people at the vet's office yesterday hadn't exhibited their compassion, I was gonna quietly just keep melting down, you know, into the, oh no, once I found out that, yeah, this is as potentially serious as the mobile vet thought when she said, yeah, don't talk to me anymore, get in your car. So it amped it up and came down and up and down several times, but that gave my mind the instruction of, yeah, we're changing the paradigm there, monkey mind. And you know are no longer relevant. And I understand that you're upset and all that. However, you're no longer relevant, flip phone. I'm onto, you know, eye intelligence that doesn't involve being stuck back here with a rotary phone or, you know, whatever it is. I mean, if that's the most appropriate, then I'm going to go with that. But that's not the most updated, appropriate information that I could be giving myself right now. So I really want to be experiencing more of the joy, more of the happiness, more of the fun, especially because I'm being given opportunity tons of times a day to see all of the horror. That's what's going on. This is a battlefield that is just opened up worldwide. It's been going on for a very long time. However, we're all a lot more connected now to know what's happening on the other side of the world and still not care enough to change our behavior. That's really what's true, is we don't care enough about ourselves. It's not a matter of having compassion for other people. When we don't have compassion for other people, it's because we don't have compassion for ourselves, and we're not ready to make that change, or we're not ready to face all the reasons why we don't want to have compassion for ourselves or other people. And we've all made mistakes, and some of us, we've done some really, really horrible stuff, you know, more horrible than others. Doesn't matter. If I've done something that makes me feel like I've murdered someone, doesn't matter if I actually did or not, it's going to run me the same. Now, it might run me harder if I actually did, But I've found that it doesn't really matter. Guilt and shame will keep me out of the game indefinitely, and I'm not going to effectively change anything in my world or anybody else's without looking at it and saying, yeah, and that hurts, ouch, 1444. So on that, I wish you a very beautiful day, whatever part of the day you're in, and get within, baby, because within your skin, you're divine. Totally, totally, totally fine. Take care of yourselves, and I'll see you again next time. Bye, friends.